Welcome to the Kingdom Hairstylist podcast. This is your host, Billie Jean. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kingdom Hairstylist. This is your host. My name is Billie Jean. I just want to say welcome to everybody that's tuning in, everybody that has pressed play on your podcast app. Thank y'all for tuning in so much. I appreciate it. I hope everybody is doing well. I pray that your weekend was awesome, and I pray that your week will be even better. I had a wonderful weekend. It was busy. Now I'm preparing for my son to graduate from high school. So I am just getting everything together for his little celebration that we'll be having on Saturday. But it's just a blessing to see how far he has come. And I'm just very excited and so proud of him. I'm extremely proud of him. He had a rough time getting through high school, but he is definitely on his way out of the door. And God has been good to my family. And he's just been blessing us and keeping us. And I give him all of the honor and the glory for everything that he's ever done and all that he'll continue to do for me and my family. And I just can't wait to see what my son will do when he gets out of barbering school, because that's where he plans to go. So anyway, I just been busy just doing regular mommy and wife duties and just preparing for this exciting time in our lives. I'm excited that it's been pretty hot lately. I'm excited that we've just been having some pretty good days. I mean, it's Monday here where I'm recording and it's raining today, but all the other days been pretty good. So I know we can't have it all, but I'm grateful. So I've been getting a couple of messages from different people in my DM, just telling me how the show has been encouraging them and how they've been listening. And I'm just grateful for all of you that have left me a message. And I pray that you all will continue to share this podcast with people that really need it. And, just to encourage someone. My direction for this podcast, it just seems to shift sometimes, because I be thinking I'm going to get on here talking about one thing and then God will tell me to talk about something totally different. And so I'm just trying my very best to be obedient to all that God has called me to do on this podcast, because it don't belong to me. It's His. So with that being said, today I finally get to talk about some mentoring things, some tips to give you in your journey in the hair industry. And just today's topic is mainly about just about how to find out what your niche is. We all have one. We all have a niche. We all have something that we're really, really good at. And it's just something that God gave us. It's some talents that we have that God has given us. And there's some things that we're just really, really good at. Some things we're not as great at, but there's some things that we're getting even better at. And so I just wanted to talk about those things, because I know that there are still people struggling in this pandemic to build a clientele. I know that there's still some people that are still having a hard time growing and just keeping the clients that they do have. And so God wanted me to share with you guys some tips and things that I've been doing lately that's been helping me to succeed a little bit. And so that's what we'll talk about. So today we're going to hop right on into it. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is basically how to know what your niche is. And I actually looked up that word because I wanted to make sure I was saying it right. But they had 2 or 3 different ways to pronunciate it. So excuse me if I'm not saying it the way that you think that I should, because I struggle with this word. But anyway, how to know what it is it's something that you're extremely good at. It's something that you do effortlessly. For me, when it comes to hair, I'm very, very, very good at lock maintenance, lock styling. I'm good at a few things, but when I say effortlessly and easy, that is one of the things that I feel like I'm very, very strongly great at. And it's because I perfected it, and I'm fast, and I care about hair care. So my clientele for locks has really been growing over the last couple of years. But just to give you guys a little bit of background, I struggled with really knowing that that was my niche for a while. And I really struggled because I was trying to do everything. Because I'm one of those stylists that started off very young. I was like 8 or 9. I don't even know how old I was, but I was very young doing my hair. I've already told that story on here several times, but I was young, and I learned how to do so many different things that I really didn't know what my niche was, because I was good at braiding. I was good at coloring hair. I was good at relaxed hair. I was good at putting in weaves. I was good at just doing so many different things. And because I worked at a salon where I was the only shampoo assistant for 4 people, I learned so much. So it was really, really hard for me to narrow things down. And I found that to be pretty challenging when setting up my book and learning how to do booking, because I would have like maybe 3 lock clients, 2 weaves, a blowout, some color, and a flat iron. You know what I mean? Just, it was always, my book consisted of so many different things. So just learning how to space everybody out, how to time my services, and just to give myself a break in between so that I could be able to eat and all that. It was just pretty challenging in the beginning. And so as I grew my clientele more and more, I started realizing that, you know, I can do all these things, but I just really have to know how to time it. And I also learned that some clients would not book with me because my menu is just so wide. They didn't really know what is she really good at. Like, she says she can do all these things that's on here, but what is she really good at? And then I wasn't taking pictures. So then I didn't have a lot of pictures on my website. So it was just a lot of different things that I struggled with in the beginning. But once I've been realizing what I'm really, really good at, what my niche is, natural hair and locks, I've been just promoting that a lot more, along with color and blowouts. But I don't try to, I don't put everything that I do on Instagram and stuff like that, because I don't want to confuse people. But, honestly, I'm really, good at these things. And it's only because I perfected it and I just had so much time doing it. And it's just, I can't take the credit away from God, because God gave me these gifts and talents. Some people, when they come out of hair school, they just have it. Some people, when they go into hair school, they just have it. So I was one of those people that just went in and I just had it. Creativity is just something that's in me. And I'm not bragging. I'm just pretty much being honest and transparent with you all, just to let you know that that's just something that was in me already. It had to be something I was already born with, because I literally been doing hair since I was little, like 8 years old. Okay, so it's also something that doesn't require you to do much thinking, like something you can really do in your sleep. So for you, it may be blowouts. Maybe that's your thing. And if you feel strongly about that, then all that you need to do is just to basically keep on perfecting the craft. Come up with different ways of blow drying. Come up with different ways of flat iron curling. You have all the time in the world to try to find different ways to perfect things. Maybe it's the shampoos you use. Maybe you created your own products, to go along with the blowout. Maybe you just gave it a new name or something. Whatever it is, you just have to create it and stay in your lane, because that is what's going to help you build your clientele. People are going to know that is what you're known for. So just have a good direction for whatever it is and stick to it. Most of the time when we try to do so many other things that we're not that good at, that's when we take our focus off of the one thing that we're really, really good at. And so I just want you to be encouraged that it's okay if you just do 1 or 2 really good things that you're good at. There are a lot of clients in the world, but who said that you need all of those clients? Because we all know that all money isn't good money. Some things that you're not that great with won't produce real good results. And I know that because that was me. There was a time when I wasn't good at color, and I was taking color clients and I was doing color, and I was like messing people up, and I was never getting them the results that they wanted. And then I would just like blame it on the hair. We all know those stories where we say things like, oh, your hair just not acting right. But a lot of times it's just a lack of knowledge, and we haven't taken the time to really perfect the craft and hone into the craft. And some of us, to be honest, don't really want to spend the money to go to the classes. But that's not what, that's not what it should be. If it's something that you're really, really passionate about and something that you're really good at, you're going to take all the classes that you can so that you can make sure that you perfect that craft to the fullest. So you just got to do a little bit of homework tonight, or whenever you're listening to this podcast. Just do some homework. Go over your history of being in the hair industry. And if you're new in the hair industry, this is perfect for you, because now you have time. You have time to really evaluate what's been going on or what you want to do. You have time to figure it out. You have time to make a plan and stick to it. You have time to pray and ask God for direction. And so God will definitely give you direction. He'll, a lot of times we don't think that God cares about things. Like, we just feel like, oh, he just got bigger problems. He doesn't care about what kind of hair I like to do, or he don't care about my bills, or he don't care about me or making money or any of that kind of stuff. These are the lies that the enemy tells us. And we got to recognize that it is the enemy. And that's why I've been so deep up in this word, reading this word, because I'm trying to make sure that I know God's voice. That is the only way to make sure that you know God's voice. A lot of people always say, how do I know that God's speaking to me? But if you're not reading the word, then you will never know if it's God's voice or not, because he's not going to always speak audibly. Like, I've only heard him speak audibly maybe twice my whole life. So I got to read. And sometimes God will stop speaking to you because he wants you to read the word. This book is just so powerful. It's so true. It's so real. It's so relevant. It's so needed. It's so necessary with your growth with God. And I know that a lot of times on this podcast, I'm just, speaking about the Bible, and, you may feel that it's a little too much or too preachy, but I can't be nothing that I can't be, nothing that I'm not. I have to be who I am. And this has always been me. So I just try my best to be relatable on this podcast so that you can get something out of it. But I mean, the way that I've been successful is from growing my relationship with God, from reading his word, from trusting him and doing everything that he's been telling me to do. And like I've stated before in this podcast, no, I don't have this big grandiose clientele. No, my clientele is not the biggest. You all may have bigger clientele than me, and that's fine. And that's wonderful, honestly, because that's what I want. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm happy, I'm obedient, and God is my provider. So I feel like this. I feel like I live in a land of provision. I really don't have to go out here and chasing, running after money like I used to when I was just starting out. I know what to do. I literally pray. I pray about clientele. I pray about clients. I ask God to send me new clients. I give him his word back to him because he made so many promises to us. And God is a man that sticks to all of his promises. He keeps all of his promises. And he gives us everything that he said he would in the word. So those are the only ingredients that I need, is the talents and the gifts that he's given me and his promises. And I also have God and all that he stands for. I have to believe in him and just know that he is who he says that he is, that he's my father and my provider. And that, I didn't mean to go off in a tangent, but I pretty much just wanted to give you guys some background as to how I figured out what my niche was. I figured it out by doing inventory, taking inventory of what I bring in the most money on. I also looked over my Instagram and saw what pictures I had the most likes on. I also figured out